Well, during the Catholic Marketing Network trade show, Bonnie had the chance to chat with author Colleen Duggan about her book, Confessions of an Imperfect Mom. Let's listen in.
I'm here with Colleen Duggan, the author of Confessions of an Imperfect Catholic Mom. I don't know any imperfect moms, so it's great to meet you.
Well, meet your first one. Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure. So I'm a mom, and then when you look back at the times that you weren't oh so perfect, it can be a real struggle. So what do you say to all of us moms?
Well, for me, it's been really helpful to address the negative ticker tape in my brain that is all the time telling me what I'm doing wrong. And so I would say to a young mom just starting out to evaluate those negative thoughts that she might be having about her performance during the day and try to be gentle with herself, because it's not helpful to just always think you're doing a bad job all the time and failing. That's not helpful.
And it's tough because, in a work assignment or in school, you get a performance review or something, and I used to always call it the sandwich theory. This is what you did good, this is what you could improve on. But in momhood,
It is different. And I think sometimes in a way it's harder because, when I worked full time, there was an evaluation. Someone was saying, I thought you did really well here, but this could be a little bit better. And even now, like writing a book, the editor said, this was good, this not so much, and we need to work with. And I like that. It's like, okay, yes, progress report. And you can kind of adjust and pivot. But with motherhood, for me anyway, I see a lot of the things I could be doing better. Social media exacerbates that tendency, and I compare my temperament. I'm like intense and type A to my best friend who's just so laid back and calm and mild mannered. And I'm just like, I want to be like that, but I'm not like that. And so, we're hard on ourselves unnecessarily, I think.
I think that's so true for moms, and then there's the comparison thing over, their kids are in, super duper performance things, and so you're not judging your own performance, but your kids, and then putting that back on yourself. So what would you recommend to a mom who's thinking that way?
In terms of like what their kid, I mean, one thing I know I have compared, and I talk about it in the book. There's a whole chapter about I sometimes compare myself with other parents. And one of the things for me that was a temptation to compare myself with was like what you just mentioned, the kids being, involved in all the activity. I have 6 kids. Can you imagine if 6 of them did 3 different things?
Right.
I would be pulling my hair out. And in the book I talk about how my son, my oldest, really wanted to do Boy Scouts. And I really wanted him to do Boy Scouts. And we signed up and we paid the money, we did the whole thing. And after a few years, we were a terrible Boy Scout family. And I saw all the families, and some of them had as many kids as we did, and they were able to do it. They were able to hang, and we just could not. It was affecting our family life, and we had to stop. And even though as soon as we did, there was instantaneous peace in my life and with the kids, I still felt like if I were a good mom, I would be able to hack the Boy Scouts. Which sounds silly now telling you out loud, but in my brain at the time, it was a really real thing.
Yeah. You could have been the catalyst for the Boy Scouts admitting girls. Hey, that was Colleen Duggan's idea.
Or here, like, keep the neurotic moms away, maybe.
How do you involve the children, would you recommend, in that process? It's certainly not a vote, but you do want to get the family's input on how something is going to affect everyone, or maybe even if it would.
Well, it's so funny that you asked that, because my oldest is going into high school, and then I have a 13-year-old daughter. She's 11 months. They're 11 months apart. And a few weeks ago, she came into our bedroom at night, and she was she was crying, and she was saying how, she was a slave to the household, that she doesn't have anything that is just hers. And when I could not be offended and think about what she was really saying, and it took me 12 hours, so don't think it happened right in the moment.
You're really fast.
And my husband helped me, because he was there. But when I thought about it, what she was really trying to say is, I want something that's mine.
Yeah.
And that's good. She
Sure.
should have that.
Yeah.
And so we kind of re-followed up with her, and we had a discussion, and we took an inventory of what are your interests? And it was so great because we came up with 3 action items that we were able to do even within the last few weeks.
Perfect.
She got to go to a camp that we had not even considered before, and they weren't huge things. She's going to go to this horse thing that she wants to do. But I'm telling you that because I can't, my 4-year-old doesn't need to go to horse camp or whatever it is, but this was important for her, and at different times, different kids have different needs, and if they're able to bring those to us or we ask, we can make headway with them. I don't know if that makes sense,
Sure.
but
Well, and I think too, just that process of sitting down and speaking with her, that in and of itself is something of her own. That
That's
time
true.
with you that gave her time to consider her role and her interests and your demonstration of your investment in her and your interest,
yeah, that we don't want her to be a slave of the household.
Right.
That
Well, I don't know.
it's true. I mean, she could run my household, and she's good at it.
Yeah.
But there is something valuable to nurturing her own interests and
Yeah.
becoming. She wants to become herself.
Sure, she's emerging.
Yeah,
Yes,
and that's important.
beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Well, that's great. Where can people get a copy of Confessions of an Imperfect Mom on the Catholic Mom imprint of Ave Maria, which is
Yes,
great?
That was so great.
Yes.
And Catholic Mom has done such a great job of helping promote the book and support it. They can go to AveMariaPress.com or Amazon. Any of the online book retailers will have it. And I definitely encourage any mom who is struggling in their vocation, wondering why it is God gave me all these kids and I don't know what I'm doing. This is the book for them, because that's how I feel every day.
Good for you. Well, I think you're practically perfect in every way. Thanks for being with us. Now back to rest of This Is the Day.